My name's Michael Dade. Work at the Quincy Fire Department. Been here for about 20 years and started as a firefighter, and now I'm a deputy fire chief, deputy chief of administration. It's probably not as cool as a lot of other people's stories. You know, it didn't start when I was really young. It started when my brother had his fourth year on the fire department here in Quincy. I was born in Quincy, Illinois, but I grew up, spent most of my childhood and my young adult life in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and the suburbs around there. And my older brother found the fire service, and he shared that with me. He just asked me if he could send me an application. So for the most part, I just wanted to beat his score on the test. You know, when he told me it was a test, I came down here for the test, asked him what he scored on it, and I scored better than him, and I scored better than a lot of other people, and got my opportunity. This was very new for me. I was intimidated, when I walked into the fire station. Again, I grew up in the city, and I came down here, and there's everybody's got mechanical aptitude. I felt like I worked with 60 MacGyvers. These guys can build engines out of duct tape and dental floss. But because of that, when I went to the academy, when they sent me off to the academy, I got to meet Chief Ray Hoff. And he was about one of the coolest people that I think I've ever met in my life. And, I had a conversation with him, one of my favorite conversations ever. And he got me involved in training. And, training was important to me because I didn't feel prepared. I felt like there was so much to learn, and I was a little bit overwhelmed. That I just dove headfirst into it, and again that helped me build some more relationships and network, and it really opened up the fire service to me. I didn't realize how many different aspects of service that the firefighters are involved in, but that's been invaluable to me, man. And again, I think one of my favorite things is that we have to know a little bit about a whole lot of things. Very important part of my life. I'm a social person anyway, but yeah, I mean, to deal with the things that we deal with, sometimes, sometimes you become family, through some of your experiences, and just, I mean, these are people that they're some of the only people I can share some stories with and some experiences with, and bounce things off of. So again, the social aspect of it and the relationships are one of the most valuable parts of the fire service to me. One of the things that I always tell new firefighters as we get on is building relationships and being intentional about the brotherhood and the relationship that you're going to have with the firefighters here is important, because you spend a third of your life here, and people always ask me, oh, is it like a family? Is it like a family? Well, yeah, I mean, I spend more time with the guys here than I have my own family. But I tell people all the time, the fire service raised me. I was raised in this building right here. Diversity is important in the fire service because it is a public service. And again, if the more that your department reflects the community that you serve, the better suited that you are to have the empathy that you need culturally with things that we don't understand, or are not familiar with from one culture to another. There's one story in particular about diversity and why it's important to me. And I get a lot of comments on my hair, because you don't find a lot of firefighters with hairstyles like mine, and I've had a few interesting hairstyles along the way. But I was in public education very early in my career, and I recall going to the early childhood center here in town. And I used to be pretty good in the classroom, and I like to get the kids worked up. And there was one little girl that she was smiling at me, but she wouldn't talk to me and she wouldn't interact with me. And so, I made it my goal, to get her to talk and give me something back. Way out, I had the little high five line going, and all the kids left, and she walked up to me and she tugged on the back of my shirt, and I turned around and I said, "Oh, baby, you finally gonna talk to me and let me hear your pretty little voice?" And she said, "I like your hair. It looks like my daddy's." And that was the first time that I really recognized that, again, in her world, everybody that was in a position of authority was unfamiliar to her. And in that world, they kind of stepped aside and gave me the stage, and that resonated with her so much that she couldn't take her eyes off me, And so that was when I realized how important it is that, people that look like me are seeing me, and again, I've seen that, I've seen that play out a number of times, in my career. Having that diversity, in this department, we'll never know how it affects, that young lady, but I do know that, there's a young firefighter on right now, Ryan Hill, that he's followed me since he was, 16, 17 years old, me and my brother. And he told me, he saw us get off the truck, and he said that that's what he's gonna do one day. And here he is. You can find me at, some youth sports game or something like that, or working out with, a couple of my younger cousins and a couple kids that I mentor. But working with young people is what I would say I'm passionate about. My ex-wife and I, we raised two beautiful young kids. I've got a 27-year-old son, Michael, who lives down in the St. Louis area now, and who has she's almost 2-year-old daughter, so I'm a grandfather as well, and that's pretty much what I do with my time off, June is my grandbaby, and then my daughter is 18, she'll be 19, coming up in May. That's weird to say, but she's a freshman at St. Louis University, so my heart is in St. Louis right now, because that's where all my babies are. But I spend a lot of time on the road, going down there to hang out with them on the weekends, and becoming a deputy chief now that I'm in Monday through Friday, and I have consistent weekends off. That has been a benefit, to be able to go and see them regularly, and stay a part of my granddaughter's life, not just through FaceTime. So I've got, again, Michael and Layla are my children, and June Marie is my granddaughter, and that's my heart.